Imagine one word, just 2 letters, that holds the power to shape every part of your life. No, it sounds simple, yet so often we wrestle with it, afraid of letting people down, missing out, or even disappointing ourselves. But the truth is, every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to what truly matters. The Stoics knew this well. They taught us that to live a life of meaning, we must master the art of saying no, not to shut out the world, but to make space for what's essential. Today we're diving into this concept through the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, examining how saying no can reshape our lives for the better. So if you're ready to start regaining control, learning the art of focused action, and saying yes to the life you truly deserve, stick around. And before we dive in, remember to like and subscribe to join our Stoic community, where we share practical wisdom to navigate life's challenges with resilience, clarity, and purpose. Lesson 1: Self-awareness as a foundation. The first step in mastering the art of saying no is cultivating self-awareness. Without a clear understanding of what drives us, it's nearly impossible to discern when we should decline or agree with confidence. The Stoics believed that self-awareness is the cornerstone of a purposeful life. Seneca once said, "The soul which has no fixed purpose in life is lost. To be everywhere is to be nowhere." This wisdom underscores the need to be grounded in our values. When we lack direction, every opportunity feels significant, leading us to become spread too thin, drained, and unfulfilled. Developing self-awareness requires us to pause and reflect. What are our core values? What are the aspects of life that truly matter? For some, this could be relationships with loved ones. For others, it might be career growth, personal development, or spiritual alignment. Whatever these guiding principles are, they act as our compass, helping us to recognize where we should dedicate our time and energy. A powerful Stoic practice here is journaling. Marcus Aurelius used this technique daily, reflecting on his intentions, choices, and areas for growth. Journaling brings clarity, allowing us to observe patterns, learn from our decisions, and identify the distractions that derail us from our purpose. Equally important is the why behind our actions. Why do we sometimes agree to things that don't align with our goals? Often, societal pressures or fears of missing out or disappointing others drive us to say yes when we should say no. But the Stoics remind us that we have control over our choices. By grounding ourselves in our values, we take charge of our lives, aligning our actions with what we truly value. This practice of saying no to distractions is an exercise in honoring our path. Finally, self-awareness is about consistency. Each day, take a few moments to reflect. Did you act in alignment with your purpose today? What distractions pulled you off course? Over time, this daily introspection strengthens our self-knowledge, making each decision a step toward a life of focus, purpose, and fulfillment. Lesson 2: The discipline to protect your purpose. At the heart of Stoicism is the understanding that we should focus only on what's within our control. Epictetus said, "Some things are in our control and others are not." This simple truth is profound when it comes to the art of saying no. We often struggle to decline because we fear disappointing others or missing out on opportunities. But Stoicism teaches us that these external outcomes are beyond our control. What is within our control is our choice, our behavior, and our commitment to self-discipline in staying true to what matters. Self-discipline isn't just about willpower, it's about being deliberate with our time and energy. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Do every act of your life as though it were the last." This isn't about urgency, it's about intentionality. When we view our decisions as significant, we're more likely to commit fully to the things we say yes to, and to recognize when something doesn't serve our greater purpose. This way, discipline becomes a guardrail, helping us focus on actions that contribute to our growth. Imagine being in the middle of a meaningful project when a friend invites you out. You feel the urge to say yes, wanting to avoid letting them down. But here's where discipline comes in. If this outing doesn't align with your priorities, declining is an act of self-discipline. You're not rejecting your friend, but rather affirming your commitment to your values and goals. This discipline to say no when necessary is a powerful way to protect what truly matters. In Stoic philosophy, saying no is about safeguarding your time and energy. Seneca said, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it when we lack the discipline to set boundaries. We squander precious time. By learning to say no, we ensure that our limited time and focus remain dedicated to the pursuits that bring true meaning to our lives. Lesson 3: Building inner fortitude. One of the greatest barriers to saying no is the discomfort it can create. It's natural to feel uneasy about declining invitations or setting boundaries, especially when others may judge or misunderstand. But Stoicism emphasizes fortitude, the strength to withstand discomfort for the sake of one's principles. To live a Stoic life, we must cultivate the inner fortitude to make choices aligned with our values, even when it feels challenging. Building fortitude involves recognizing that short-term discomfort is often outweighed by long-term gains. Each time you say no to a distraction or an unimportant request, you're strengthening your resilience. You're training yourself to prioritize long-term fulfillment over momentary approval. Stoics believed in practicing mental discipline to build this resilience. Epictetus likened it to an athlete training to become stronger. The more we exercise this mental muscle of saying no, the easier it becomes to stay true to our priorities. Another key element of fortitude is detaching from the desire to be universally liked. Stoics like Seneca warned against the distractions of external validation, urging us instead to focus on living in harmony with our own values. By releasing the need to please everyone, we gain a deeper sense of freedom, one that allows us to make choices aligned with our inner compass, even if others don't fully understand. Lastly, fortitude also means learning to tolerate others' reactions to your boundaries. Not everyone will respect your priorities, and that's okay. By holding firm to your values, you become a model of resilience. This resilience not only shields you from distractions, but also allows you to invest fully in what truly matters, building a life that's meaningful, focused, and fulfilling. Lesson 4: Mastering silence as power. Stoicism teaches that silence is a profound tool for self-preservation and strategy. When we remain silent, especially in the face of provocation or when surrounded by empty noise, we cultivate an aura of mystery and control. This silence isn't about suppressing words, it's about intentional, disciplined restraint. Holding back creates space for observation, letting us see through intentions and identify motivations around us. With silence, we gain control over reactions and become fully aware of what's essential and what's trivial, elevating our actions beyond knee-jerk reactions. Silence can also help build a powerful reputation. When people can't predict or fully understand us, it leads them to speculate, often adding layers of intrigue. This form of subtle power is potent because it makes others wonder about our thoughts, strengths, and motives. A person who doesn't waste words is often seen as someone who doesn't waste energy, and this controlled demeanor signals strength to others. By exercising silence, we are not only guarding our thoughts, but actively constructing an aura that commands respect. Additionally, a silent person commands attention without demanding it. In a world of constant noise, silence becomes rare, and rare things hold value. When we speak only when necessary, our words carry greater weight. Every statement becomes purposeful, every expression more noticeable. Others begin to understand that when we choose to speak, there's value and thought behind it, increasing the influence of our voice and deepening the impact of our presence. Mastering silence allows us to filter through superficiality, connecting more meaningfully with what truly matters. Finally, silence equips us with a sense of tranquility and mental clarity. By refusing to engage with unnecessary distractions, we cultivate inner calm, which protects us from the chaos around us. This stability becomes a solid foundation that supports both our internal growth and our relationships. We find that we're less swayed by the opinions of others and more grounded in our beliefs. Thus, silence transforms into a form of strength that becomes undeniably evident in our actions, decisions, and influence. Lesson 5: Setting boundaries with purpose. Establishing boundaries is crucial for anyone striving to embody controlled power. Stoicism highlights the importance of controlling our environment by being clear about where we stand and what we tolerate. By setting boundaries, we are not creating walls, but defining the territory within which we can thrive. Boundaries ensure that our energy is protected and that we aren't overrun by others' demands or influences. These lines aren't about shutting people out, but about making room for what truly serves our values and goals. Boundaries also communicate our standards to others. When we assert them, people become aware of our expectations, and we begin to attract those who respect them. Rather than pleasing everyone, we focus on staying true to ourselves. This approach creates a magnetism, drawing in individuals who align with our values and repelling those who may disrespect or undermine our principles. People start to see us as grounded and resolute, qualities that amplify our sense of purpose and confidence. Moreover, boundaries give us time to refocus and recharge. By saying no to things that drain us, we create space for growth, learning, and self-care. We respect our time and energy, preserving these resources for what truly matters. Through this act, we're training ourselves to value our own well-being as much as we value our goals, making us harder to manipulate or divert from our path. Protecting our mental and emotional health through boundaries is essential for long-term resilience. Ultimately, boundaries signal to others that we are in control of our lives and won't be easily swayed. It establishes that we know our priorities and aren't willing to compromise them. This resolve becomes evident in our behavior and interactions. People around us begin to understand that our values and limits are non-negotiable, which enhances their respect for us. It's this form of uncompromising respect for oneself that creates an image of quiet strength, compelling and enduring. Lesson 6: the strength of consistency. Consistency in thought and action builds an inner strength that is not easily shaken. In Stoic practice, consistency is more than just a habit, it's a lifestyle. When we are consistent in our principles and behavior, we not only reinforce our own sense of discipline, but also show others that we are dependable. This consistency builds trust in both ourselves and others, creating an impression of someone who is steadfast and reliable, a trait that is both intimidating and inspiring. When our actions align with our values consistently, we build confidence that is evident in everything we do. It's not about rigidly adhering to a routine, but about remaining true to our principles in a flexible yet disciplined way. This consistency nurtures an aura of stability, making us appear unshakable and sure of our path. People recognize and admire this reliability, finding it comforting yet powerful, and it adds an edge of certainty to our presence. Additionally, consistency has a cumulative effect on our resilience. Every time we act in line with our values, we strengthen the mental muscles needed to stay grounded in any situation. This consistency becomes a habit that protects us from emotional turbulence, helping us make rational decisions when faced with adversity. The more consistent we are, the more we develop a calm confidence that is resilient to distractions or temptations. Through consistency, we create a legacy of character that speaks for us even when we're not around. Others begin to understand that we're not just sporadically strong or wise, but that we embody these qualities as a way of life. This ongoing demonstration of character is a quiet yet formidable power. It reassures us and those around us of our intentions, making us a dependable force in a world that is constantly changing. Lesson 7: harnessing patience as a form of power. Patience is an often underrated virtue that offers a tremendous advantage. In the Stoic view, patience isn't passive but rather a highly active form of control. When we are patient, we can endure trials without compromising our principles or falling into despair. Patience allows us to see situations clearly, understand them fully, and respond wisely. It's a form of strength that lets us navigate life's ups and downs without losing ourselves in the process. A patient individual is intimidating to those who rely on instant reactions to gain control. Patience signals a high level of self-mastery. It demonstrates that we are not easily triggered, pressured, or manipulated. This unbreakable calm makes others question their ability to influence us, often leading them to respect or even fear our steadiness. The capacity to wait, observe, and respond with composure can often achieve more than any impulsive action could. Patience also keeps us from wasting energy on insignificant distractions. When we are patient, we understand that not everything deserves an immediate reaction, and we reserve our focus for what truly matters. This calm foresight allows us to make decisions that align with our long-term goals rather than reacting to temporary disturbances. By practicing patience, we maintain a state of mental clarity, directing our energy purposefully toward growth and achievement. Finally, patience cultivates resilience, an attribute that is central to enduring life's challenges. When we're patient, we accept life's natural pace, which strengthens us to withstand hardships without becoming bitter or disillusioned. This patience is more than a skill. It's a reflection of our confidence in ourselves and our journey. In practicing patience, we develop a resilience that becomes second nature, empowering us to face life head-on without fear. Lesson 8: Transforming vulnerabilities into strength. True resilience comes not from ignoring vulnerabilities, but from understanding and embracing them. Stoicism encourages us to confront our weaknesses and insecurities, not to be weighed down by them, but to transform them into areas of growth. When we face vulnerabilities openly, they lose their power over us, and instead of becoming weaknesses, they become aspects of our story that we own completely. This level of self-awareness is both powerful and liberating, allowing us to move with confidence and acceptance. Embracing vulnerability doesn't mean exposing ourselves to harm. Instead, it gives us insight into our own mind, helping us identify fears, anxieties, and doubts that may undermine us. By confronting these aspects of ourselves, we develop a resilience that is grounded in reality, not in false bravado. It becomes clear that we are strong not because we are invincible, but because we understand and accept the parts of ourselves that are imperfect. This acceptance brings a steadiness that is undeniably compelling. Acknowledging vulnerabilities also allows us to connect more deeply with others. When we are unafraid to be genuine, we draw people towards us, resonating with their own struggles and insecurities. This authenticity, however, is rooted in strength, not in neediness or dependency. We don't seek approval or validation, rather, we demonstrate that we can be both open and unbreakable. This blend of honesty and strength builds respect, fostering connections grounded in truth rather than pretense. Ultimately, vulnerability becomes a tool for growth. By understanding our own fears and weaknesses, we become skilled in navigating others' vulnerabilities with empathy and understanding. We no longer see challenges as threats, but as opportunities to expand and evolve. In this way, we turn potential weaknesses into sources of personal strength, allowing us to lead our lives with a grounded confidence that cannot be easily shaken. Lesson 9: Strategic detachment for mental clarity. Detachment is a skill that allows us to engage fully in the present without becoming attached to outcomes beyond our control. Stoicism teaches us that our sense of peace shouldn't rely on external events or people, but on our internal state. Strategic detachment involves practicing a level of mental separation that keeps us from becoming emotionally entangled with the temporary ups and downs of life. This detachment doesn't imply indifference. Instead, it grants us the clarity to remain composed and effective, regardless of circumstances. By practicing detachment, we learn to observe events objectively. We no longer view challenges or setbacks as personal failures, but as situations to be managed with calm and resolve. This ability to step back mentally, even in tense situations, gives us a powerful advantage. We aren't swayed by emotional reactions or knee-jerk responses. Instead, we respond with a level-headedness that others find reassuring and commanding. This composure becomes a hallmark of inner strength, one that speaks volumes without a single word. Detachment also prevents us from being overly influenced by others' opinions and expectations. When we rely solely on our own values and principles, we protect ourselves from the emotional roller coaster of external validation or criticism. This form of independence is intimidating to those who may try to manipulate or control us, as they quickly realize that their opinions hold little power over our decisions or self-worth. Detachment helps us remain unflappable, staying rooted in our beliefs rather than swayed by shifting societal tides. Ultimately, strategic detachment allows us to invest our energy wisely, focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. This focus on internal stability cultivates a sense of calm that shields us from unnecessary stress or anxiety. With detachment, we navigate life with a clear mind, one that is free to respond rather than react, and that remains unshaken even in the face of uncertainty or adversity. Lesson 10. Practicing inner fortitude through self-reliance. Self-reliance is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. By cultivating independence, we develop an unyielding resilience that doesn't depend on others for fulfillment or security. Self-reliance doesn't mean isolation or distancing ourselves from others. Rather, it's about finding strength and contentment within ourselves, regardless of external circumstances. This strength becomes our bedrock, helping us move forward confidently, no matter who or what enters or exits our lives. The process of becoming self-reliant begins with developing skills and resources that empower us to handle life's challenges independently. When we build a life that doesn't rely on others for validation, support, or reassurance, we embody a quiet yet formidable strength. People sense that we don't need them to feel whole, which often enhances their respect and admiration for us. This independence frees us from the constraints of external approval and places the power of self-worth firmly within our control. Self-reliance also builds mental and emotional resilience. When we learn to depend on ourselves, we're less vulnerable to disappointment or betrayal, as our sense of self remains intact regardless of others' actions. By fostering this internal security, we become resistant to manipulative or toxic influences that rely on dependency or neediness. We are anchored within, making it nearly impossible for others to destabilize our inner world. This strength of character creates an aura of calm and certainty that others find both inspiring and intimidating. Finally, self-reliance enables us to live authentically, guided by our own values and priorities. With no need to impress or seek validation, we align our actions with our true selves. This authenticity attracts people who respect us for who we are, rather than for what we can offer them. Through self-reliance, we cultivate a life of integrity and independence, and it becomes clear to those around us that we are driven by our own compass, a force that no one can easily disrupt or undermine. Saying no isn't about shutting out the world, it's about protecting your path. With self-awareness, discipline, and inner fortitude, you create the space to say yes to a life filled with purpose and meaning. These principles aren't just abstract ideas, they're practical tools that empower you to live with intention. So take a moment today to reflect on what truly matters and start aligning your choices with that vision. And remember, if you found value in today's journey, hit that like button, subscribe, and join our community here on Stoic Resonate, where together we explore the timeless wisdom that helps us lead lives of purpose and strength.